80s, and they came back and have done a new album, which came out towards the end of last year. It's called Everything That Happens Will Happen Today, and it's rather nice. It's not as experimental as you might think. It's a lot more song-based structures, and there's some lovely songs on it. And this is a song called The River.
I'm standing on the stage, I'm working in front of me.
Musical choice from Tiny Dan on this week's Steve Show. What was it, Dan?
It was Brian Eno and David Byrne and The River from Everything That Happens Will Happen Today, their new album. And Byrne is touring late March, early April with some of the songs from that and some of the classics. Details on his website if you're interested.
Thank you very much.
If you're not, I apologise. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
You've sickened me because I'm not interested.
BBC Six Music.
Six Music.
A couple more emails and texts. Remember we gave out a big shout to Simon?
I did, yeah.
Big shout out to Simon we gave earlier. Tom in Nottingham says he'd like a larger shout out than Simon. Yeah?
Should we all do it together?
Yes.
Tom!
Is that how you do a shout out? The one of the week, I'm presuming that's where you're
do
doing
the
it.
Westwood way, so it's just vibrant. It's a big shout out to Tom, yeah!
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Tom! I thought that was just a shout out. Tom! I thought maybe we don't know exactly what he wants from his shout out. Maybe he wants the sound of someone shouting out from inside a well, having fallen down. Tom! Call Mum! Call my mum, Tom! Bring sandwiches and a pork pie! That's a very specific shout out from Tom in Nottingham. If he is indeed down a well, then that should inspire him as to what to shout. He was walking down the road with his transistor radio glued to his ear, typical of Tommy, and so engrossed was he in the show and the fact we're trying to cater to all people at all times that he didn't even notice the 19th century well ahead of him, and he stumbled inside, and now he's looking out for advice on how to shout out from it to garner help. Well, there you are. Good advice for you, Tommy.
Yeah, on the topic of distractions, two people have texted in. Samuel in Manchester, could you stop being so funny and entertaining, as it's making it hard for me to get on with work? And Adam, you're not catering to me at the moment. I'm trying to study and banal banter is proving rather distracting. Can I get a spot of silence, please?
Yes, you can. If we leave this long enough, there will be an emergency CD that will start playing.
What if that's better than us?
Almost certainly will. Listen, for fans of the emergency CD, maybe we should just go silent so that it will start up. What is on the emergency CD? I'm intrigued to know. We talked about this before, I think.
Can't be the Killers.
Goldfrapp?
Is it Goldfrapp?
It's Goldfrapp.
Is it music though, or is there kind of the greatest hits of the BBC? Because what if Rossi put together the emergency CD? What if it's just filth?
Well, this is it. Obviously, you can't have anything that might be mildly offensive or related to the tragedy that may have happened.
Of course.
So it's quite a difficult thing to put together. I imagine it was put together pre-BBC scandal, so there might be some naughty ones on there.
Absolutely. Well, let's go silent, see if it kicks in. Here it comes. I play that to cater to fans of both Graham Coxon and Scottish folk musician John McCusker. Fans of McCusker will know that he was commissioned in 2007 to compose a celebration of contemporary folk music, bringing together Scottish and English musicians of different genres. Ex-Blur guitarist Graham Coxon was involved, and now they're releasing an album of the collaboration. It's called Under One Sky, and from it, that was All Has Gone, featuring, as I say, Graham Coxon playing and singing. So there we are, if you're a fan of Blur, or Coxon, or McCusker, catered to. It's the Steve Show, Six Music with me, Steve Merchant. We're trying to cater to every single one of the BBC Six Music listenership, and even those who never listen to BBC Six Music, for they are licence fee payers too, unless of course they're not, in which case, screw 'em. Sammy, you've had an email.
From Andy Richards. Improve the show. I feel it is no coincidence that since the BBC relaxed its position on regional accents and allowed those with more provincial pronunciation time on air, the illiteracy levels amongst the nation's children has declined measurably. Shows such as yours should therefore attempt to phase out offending accents. Northern, West Country, foreign, etc. Either through staff elocution training or replacing presenters with people proven to speak the Queen's English, such as Joanna Lumley or Brian Sewell.
Well, listen, Sewell and Lumley are both excellent suggestions for future Six Music Six Music presenters. Rufus, of course, normally would tick this box, but Rufus is, I'm afraid to say, not very well. He's currently in a play. He's going to rest his voice, but don't be afraid to go and check him out in the play, which is it Private Lives?
Private Lives.
Private Lives, currently, I believe, in the Hampstead Theatre. I'm sure he'll be back very soon. But yes, I apologise for having a stupid West Country accent. Sammy, you likewise have got an even stupider Northern voice. I'm going to try and change it. Hello, I'm the Queen of Bloomin' Sheba. How's it going? No, hang on, I know what that is. That's actually, if anything, that's even more regional, isn't it? A bit Cockney. Hello. That's better, isn't it? That's better.
That's more like it.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for listening to BBC Six Music. Are you familiar with the R&B star Marvin Gaye? Well, you may enjoy this tune then. It's called It's a Desperate Situation. From an album called Love Starved Heart, a compilation that sort of features lots of unreleased tracks recorded by Marvin Gaye between about 1963 and 1971. So some crackers on there, including that one, It's a Desperate Situation. Steve Show 6 Music. We tracked down the emergency tape that kicks in if there is 90 seconds of silence on 6 Music, and this is what's currently playing on there. Sorry, huh?
Edgy.
It is edgy. I'll just leave that playing. We have to go to the news very shortly, but obviously we are still keeping an eye on your texts and emails. Harry just saw one that was very important, needs to be done instantly.
Yes, we have, can you please call Biggie Smalls, my dog? I'm trying to hoover, but she's attacking the Henry. If you call her, she'll go upstairs, where you're on. Thanks, Juliet.
So we're all upstairs, dog needs to be called, get away from the Hoover. Sammy, can you give Biggie Smalls a big shout out?
Biggie Smalls, come on, Biggie! Biggie, come upstairs, come on, Biggie! Biggie, you know you might become a Biggie, you're a good girl.
Okay, good. So, perhaps get in touch, let us know if Biggie is now upstairs, catering to you, the listeners. Whatever whims you have, whatever you need from us, get in touch and we'll cater to you. Here's the news.
On digital, online.
Playing this for anyone who is currently hosting a party on board a boat. They've got a lot of honeys of various different ethnic persuasions in bikinis who are just grinding their booties, and then there's presumably a couple of other guys in bling and tracksuits who are just sat there looking moody. So if you're currently experiencing that, well, you're having a whale of a time. Very envious of you. But also get in touch. Let us know where that boat is moored, and if we can come along later, probably drinking Cristal champagne, although other champagnes, of course, are available. We are The Steve Show. This is 6 Music, and thank you very much indeed for tuning in. In an effort to try and get back to basics on the BBC after recent scandals, and also having consulted the complaints logs and realised that there are so many people out there who are disappointed in what the BBC does, we on The Steve Show have taken it upon ourselves to be everything to everybody. You, the listeners, are the ones that pay our wages. This is constantly being rammed down our throats. According to someone who was contacted by the News of the World, the BBC is now running mad. We have gone insane. We are wild and out of control. You can get in touch and you can tell us, what do you want from us? What do you want us to talk about? What do you need? Anything is open to us. Remember earlier we were playing the jingle, which the lady very kindly explains how you get in touch. Then someone sent in a message saying that they didn't like that jingle. Could we stop playing it? I'm afraid to say that I've had Mark in London get in touch. Can you please play the jingle, given the text message info for the show? So I don't know what to do now. I'm afraid I'm going to have to cater to Mark.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.6music@bbc.co.uk.
Now I'm basically catering to whatever the last message was. Get them in fast, everyone. Harry, you've been keeping abreast of them, and they are flooding in, as you can well imagine.
Yeah, well, before the news, we did a big shout out to Biggie Smalls, the dog, to get him upstairs. Text update, it worked.
Hey!
Biggie is now upstairs. But what's
Biggie.
this? JP has texted in. I need you to remind my flatmate Andy that it's time to make the tea.
Okay, again, I wish there was more information. Does he mean a cup of tea, or tea in the provincial sense of afternoon food?
Difficult to say.
Difficult to say. What was his flatmate's name?
Andy.
Andy, we would like to instruct you now, please, to go and make the tea. I'm sure you'll know what that means. If not, consult with your flatmate, and he will be able to tell you. Frankly, why he can't have told you himself, I do not know. But listen, it's not for me to question why. You remember, Dan, when we used to live together, not in the biblical sense? Remember, I think I once phoned you from my bedroom. to tell you something or other.
Yes, I don't think it was once either. I think.
Yeah, a number of times.
Systemic harassment in the end, I believe.
I remember I was once in, I think it was in a diner in the city of Los Angeles, and I saw TV frontster Jimmy Carr. And I phoned Jimmy Carr. But the thing is, because of I was using my English phone, I was sat in a diner and he was about 3 feet away, and I had to phone you know when you phone from America, it phones you back in England via some kind of satellite and back again to Jimmy's phone. It was the most roundabout way of getting in touch with a friend, and it cost me £17. It really was hilarious. Any others, Harry, before we move on?
Yeah, Steve's texted in. We said we're just basically appealing to the last person that's texted in, but he said that I'm unsettled by your flip-flopping between various requests. Could you please develop a system of rules or protocols to deal with them?
Whoa, yes, you're absolutely right. We should do that. Well, listen, I better play some music before we get to that, because that's going to take some time. Earlier, Harry, I know someone was very keen to get some information on brewing. They were doing some home brew, and they felt that we'd not catered to that.
No, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can get, a lot of equipment. I'll run through some of the key stuff that people will need. Essentially, a 25-litre fermenting bin is what you're after.
Yep.
You're going to need a kilogram of brewing sugar.
Yep.
You need a mixing paddle. Mm-hmm. You need a CO2 injector system. That's carbon dioxide. You need a thermometer, a siphon, a teaspoon, a can opener, and some Vaseline.
Interesting. And we presumably also need a couple of friends to come round, and you can force it on them when you realise that it just tastes horrid and hopsy, and you have to try and get rid of it, because it is just clogging up your kitchen. Also, I played Regulate by Warren G and Nate Dogg, of course, 1994 song. I was looking on Wikipedia, and let me just tell you, because I've never paid attention fully to the song before, I didn't realise this is what it was about. The song tells a story in which Warren G, while looking for some skirts, brackets women, is mugged in Long Beach, California. Nate Dogg is trying to find Warren G at the same time, and when he finds that Warren G is getting mugged, he kills the people mugging him. The two then look for women together, whom they eventually find. So it sounds like it's a story there for any sociopaths out there. I don't know if at any point they mention to the ladies they find that they've just killed a man. I don't know what they do with those ladies. Perhaps a follow-up song was available, which I'm not familiar with, but do get in touch if there is one. Sorry, Dan, you wanted something from me?
Not particularly, no, although I feel I should update Stephen, who texted in earlier, for real-time football updates, and Everton are now leading against Liverpool in the FA Cup. If you're listening again in the following week, you already know this, so I'm sorry for wasting your time.
I'm going to play this for any ukulele fans, but prior to that, I know Sammy's got suddenly has something just thrust into her.
Jay in Brighton, this is your whisper out, because I know you've got a hangover. And if that girl doesn't call from last night, she's not worth worrying about.
Or she's just not interested in you.
No. He sounds like a nice fella on his side.
Okay. Plenty more fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Let us know how that goes as well. If she does get in touch, we'll be keen to know. Listen, you know ukuleles. Don't get played enough on Six Music. Are you familiar with Dent May and his magnificent ukulele? You are now. Actually, that was tipped by Alan McGee during that big roundup of things to look forward to in 2009. Former Creation Records man Alan McGee said of that it's nerdy pop music akin to No in the Well or Beirut, but infused with a quirkiness and a love of the House Martins and Art Garfunkel's Bright Eyes. Dent May's songs are strong, the vibe is quirky and it's fun. Music geeks of the world unite and take over. There we are, Dent May and his magnificent ukulele, and his LP, The Good Feeling Music of Dent May, is coming soon. So there we are. Steve Show 6 Music, we're trying to cater to everyone listening. It's a difficult order. So far we have fulfilled it admirably. Listen, the people obviously not only are people texting and so on, they're also getting in touch in all kinds of ways. One such person is on the line now. Who's that?
It's Dave.
Hello, mate. How's it going? What can we do for you? I'm sorry, we've got so many people to keep happy. What's the problem? What do you need from us?
Well, we're just sitting here chilling. I'm reading the Times, and my wife, she's on Bookface or whatever it is.
On Bookface?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
What the on Book? Is that because there are so many computer websites we haven't even begun to mention? Is Bookface?
Facebook.
Facebook. She's probably communicating with friends, or possibly a lover. We don't know.
Hopefully the former.
You're reading the Times, Sunday Times, of course. So you're more of a right-wing kind of guy. Do you need something from